Hi, folks, and welcome back to NECC. Thank you so much for bearing with us through some technical difficulties going on in, how it goes around for the elements. We are about to hop back into our Rialto map here just in a moment, but so far, well, LaFawn, it looks like CMU has pushed it pretty far, and I don't know. Are we going to have a repeat of what we saw in Hollywood from them?
We'll have to get a quick update on the overlays in just a moment as well. Um,
Oh,
we
thank you for that.
yeah, blue gold B versus our other squad here in
Oh,
Lincoln
versus
Christian.
Lincoln. Oh
So yeah,
man. Yeah, I just defaulted off. Wow, man, working out all the
tech
technical
tech
difficulties.
difficulties. They strike as they please, and everyone is at the mercy of them. So
Oh man, hopefully we have more players in the lobby than that are being shown as well. All right. Uh-oh. Folks, maybe we should we take can we throw it to a quick break real fast and we will be back momentarily. And welcome back. Thanks again for these technical challenges. We're back on Rialto and resetting here to move along forward. Shatter has come down, but Blugold Blue are holding strong Lafon, and even with the loss of Fireheart, quickly mitigated just as fast with Richter on the red.
That's been one thing that Rickster's done a great job of is having these aggressive resurrects, right? So it's allowed Blue Gold to just really get back into a couple of fights, and that's another Earth Shatter that's just gonna stall. Oh my, okay.
Bye!
Okay.
Raspberry just charged straight off the point right there. Definitely not the intention, but sometimes things get a little wild here when you're doing a Reinhardt charge, of course. Looks like we are having a little bit more technical difficulties. Once again, folks, sincerely apologize for this. We are doing our best here, and well, we'll have to just bear through it for just a moment. Lafon, here on Rialto, I can see that both teams have really been trying to take advantage of these corners. And it seems like as soon as a shield breaks, a Reinhardt is there to step up and Earth Shatter to follow up. And not just for one of these teams, both of them is what it seems like are capitalizing on those breaking points.
I mean, absolutely. You know, something that's been consistent throughout the series has really been that level of contest, that level of aggression. And so, I mean, it's kind of hard. It's obviously tough to kind of see what they're doing at this moment, but I'm really liking the approach of the tank lines as they kind of duel with each other. So I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to see that if that continues throughout the rest of this map as soon as we can get into it. So.
Yeah. Well, it has been, an interesting back and forth between the two teams as Blue Gold, has the Sigma and the Junkrat. So different amounts of damage coming up, but a lot more burst potential from that Junkrat. Whereas Lincoln needs that time for that Symmetra to get charged up. Zarya needs to do a couple bubble rotos before she's charged up, and then they've got the nasty damage.
This is now. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Christian here. Oh, we approach the Epic Slasher back of the Doofus, but those traps could really spell his demise if they try to play up too aggressively. So,
Oh
big,
my
whoa, that's
gosh.
a big, that's six. That's all
Yeah.
six.
That shatter did so many people, even popped him straight into the hallway after that. And well, Lincoln has just once again used both tank ultimates to bust open the defense of Blue Gold and take the first or take some area in this first point.
There is still a recontest available
In
here
overtime.
from a Blue Gold. Is Epic Slasher on the high ground. That's not quite as big a shadow this time around, though.
Not quite as much indeed, but Epic Slasher is taken out of this fight as Blue Gold wants to hold strong here on this first point. The res is absolutely massive. Golden Pants bringing in Epic Slasher is so much damage potential coming back, and look at him going to work with that hit. Absolutely punching everyone from Blue Gold back and has allowed Lincoln to tap that first checkpoint.
Now I mean, there is still the respawns are fairly close. Only Raspberry, I believe, here playing in the distance. So Blue Gold trying to reset here as Lincoln Christian just standing and kind of keeping watch, making sure no one gets a little too antsy, right?
Little damage coming through, but punished for it. Oh man, Wells is going to be feeling good after that. Now Blue continuing to push forward here, and the Amp Matrix is going to discourage anyone from Lincoln to push through that side. They smartly skirt away, kite around to the blue pipeline here, and with the shatter going down, few people have been caught out. Money Matt trying to find the damage, but the Junkrat is too much. Another tire here to rip through, taking down another person, and well, the res bringing back Raspberry is going to be even tougher for Lincoln to aggress forward.
Yeah, the cart is now kind of stalled out at this second corner. As MX Stick caught out, takes down Epic Slasher with, what is that, like 10 HP?
That was a heart-stopping amount of HP. Oh, man. And, well, it looks like we have just a little bit of a pause again here for our game or our game feed specifically. Still working on it, folks. But, this is about where we saw the game flash up last time. And man, Epic Slasher has got a huge target on his back, LaFon.
Yeah, I mean, the Doomfist by nature is definitely going to be one that you have to kind of keep your eye out on, right? Because of their potential of just cycling their abilities. We've seen
Mhm.
Doomfist just come in, it's seismic slam, uppercut into the punch with a couple of the primary
Seen
fire, and
it,
then
experienced it, what a
yeah, any squishy player, any support has kind of been there. They know what it's like, and so yeah, you have to keep your eye out on Epic Slasher because otherwise, the Doomfist can tear your team apart. Blugold doing a great job of kind of resolving that though.
Right. And, that amount of burst potential could be so deadly here. And, well, Lincoln
If
Christian has done
only
a
the
great
answers
job
were
at
simple.
pocketing him, keeping him alive, and continuing to make sure that he can bring the value to this fight.
Yeah, I mean that while oh okay.
Oh,
The damage boosted Baptiste is enough to kind of take out the Ash, and now I mean the cart rolls through the last stage here as it's the last of the point. Oh, Logo goes down.
oh man, that is so critical for them. Losing Rixer is once again fast on that res, bringing Logo straight back into this fight. Bob on the point is going to be an additional amount of pressure coming through as Epic Slasher tried to Meteor Slam in the heart of Blugold. Logue said, no way, that was silly of you to think you could get so close to me. The Junkrat who has been absolutely throwing so much damage into Lincoln left and right. Oh, couldn't get away, Money Matt.
Going to be the reset now, and 40 seconds remaining. Epic Slasher going over to the Symmetra yet again. I mean, you're all eyes on the main tanks, really. The duel of the ages, if you will, as GTV James has the shatter mirrored by Raspberry. I mean, really it's going to come down to who can land a bigger play on the tank line. If you can get a shatter down, this should allow you to just win up a round and hold and finish the match.
And Lowe's here could easily throw that tire and shut everyone down as well. Earth Shatter already thrown from James, and he goes down in the process. Raspberry's thrown hers on top of it, and now it is a back and forth of both teams. Lowe's tries to go for that soldier here and just hits the tire right behind them around the corner. Two people down, the damage being done, and Blugold holds strong here before the third quarter.
Yeah, I think critically, something that Lux has actually done such a fantastic job of, and has really been a threat on this Junkrat, is how closely to the front line they use the tire, right? The fact of the matter is, the Rip Tire is being activated like nearly in the front lines, and that means not only does the Rip Tire take much less time to get close to where it can be detonated, therefore making it harder to predict and harder to destroy, but also it's coming from angles that are either above or below where the team fight's happening, and so while you're focusing on the actual combat, the Riptire just comes in and takes your team apart. So Loix has been a big part of the round, shall we say, on the Junkrat.
I mean, we've all been killed by a Junkrat tire like that, and it is not fun. And the short distance that tire is traveling from when he lets her rip to actually hitting the point of target is so short. They don't have any chance to turn around and try and take the tire down. The only time they were able to was when they were already on the high ground with him, LaFon. And it was,
Yeah, when
yeah.
Loix is like, what was it, like 1v6, just staring down Doomfist, that Epic Slasher just across, and I mean, that Riptire is not going to end well for you, right? Like, that's just not.
No.
It shouldn't even get one kill, and it doesn't. So, Lincoln
No.
Christian being able to punish that. But I mean, to the actual like macro of the map that we kind of had laid out in front of us is that Lincoln Christian, they finished about 2.5 points, right? That's pretty good on Rialto, and if they can get a good defense on first, then as they're kind of posturing here, then I mean this map could be there still.
Wow, that was a close ice wall. There were like 3 people directly on top of it. Not quite sectioned out. They were able to press that S key and back away, but I'm sure they want to press S a little bit more when they're frozen up. Raspberry though doesn't care. She just says W all day and continues to aggress forward.
That's I mean this may pick this composition, this rush composition, I think makes a lot more sense for how Lincoln Christian are playing. They're going to be able to punish teleport plays, what with the A wall, sectioning off targets, and then the freeze quickly. You can't flank if the May's there in front of you, right? So this is a good chain better.
Ball comes through here from Epic Slasher trying to turn this fight and save them for this first point. But Blugold Blue getting a lot of kills. A lot of people have been anti, but Firehard's Immortality Field just saved everybody's bacon in that last fight.
Yeah, that was a huge play from the support line. And I mean, not like it wasn't dueled out. Master Yi with another fantastic anti. It just kind of, the Immortality Field is up to the task to prevent everyone from going down. And Blugold will take the first point in quite quick time, right? This is 5 minutes on the clock here. And I mean, they're looking to kind of keep this momentum going.
And you know, both of these teams have had quite an extensive back and forth between the rounds. I know Lincoln has won both of the maps, but Blugold has definitely given them a run for their money, and they are not making it easy and making quite a stand here on this Rialto map. We see Logs here going up on this high ground with the Reaper, and man, Blugold has ultimates for days, LaFon, and it's going to be their fight to win and to space out, but hopefully they don't all pop Q straight at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what Blugold has to offer, you said it. It's an absolute wealth of utility here. The Blizzard, Shatter. It's definitely gonna be tough for Lincoln Christian. So we'll
Yeah.
have to see how they're able to respond and when we get a chance to. The other thing that they have a lot to work with is time, and I think that's critical too, right? Like 4 minutes 40 seconds from our point of view as
Yeah.
of right now. Like that's a lot to work from, and if you can kind of get a good fight, considering where the cart sort of stopped,
Mhm.
if you can get second completed with like 3 minutes of the time bank, then you're looking good.
Absolutely. And when you have this much time to spare and wiggle
And
around
speak of
with, geez, now it's even more time with fun.
yeah,
But
five
when you
minutes and the yellow box of victory right there.
wow, I was gonna say it lets you charge up your ultimates and hit them with a big cycle, but I don't even know if they're gonna need that. Blugold already rolling this cart forward. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to contest them. They're just gonna move it on, and there it is. Blugold taking the last map win here on Rialto to close out the series.
An unceremonious completion of the map too, right? Like this kind of card kind of just rolls in, and I mean GTD James
Toastin'.
will get a highlight. They'll lose the map, but they'll win the series. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters. Oh man, GTD James just walks up, lays down the hammer, and says, "What are you gonna do about it?" And Blugold is like, "Well, we'll die, I guess." You know, we'll back to the
Right. Oh man, Logue's there with 68% kill participation. And, you know, he knows what it's like with James to get play of the game, but lose the map.
yeah, and I think the thing that I've kind of coming to the conclusion at the end of the series is that um, there's a lot to take from this in terms of like improving as a team for both squads. I don't think there's anything, I don't think either team has perfected their gameplay or anything like that. I think critically so that's like I would say the thing to improve. I think the thing that both teams can take pride in though at the end of this is that they have strengths that they absolutely can kind of say this is what our team identity is and get value from it. For Lincoln Christian, it's clearly their defensive prowess, right? We
Yeah.
saw on the defensive side of the maps, they were able to kind of slow the game down and just stop Blue Gold Esports in their tracks, and that I think is something for them to kind of improve and kind of build on. Whereas for
Hmm.
Blue Gold, while they didn't get the victory, their one map win has shown that their flexibility across a range of heroes, a range of styles, is clearly something to kind of give other teams pause. And if they can improve all of those styles a little bit more, then they'll be a genuine threat to anyone who goes up against them. They're 1-1, but I think that doesn't really tell the tale of how they've performed across both of those series. So definitely a lot of exciting things for both squads to kind of look forward to as they continue their play.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed seeing the adaptations they made in response to each other's aggression. We saw a lot of back and forth shattering coming through. People were isolated more often, and I think that these two teams have a lot of potential to really grow over the season. And I would love to cast them again later in the later weeks and see them head to head because this is a very close back and forth. And both of them seem to come away with some new tricks and some new tactics against each other.
Yeah, and
But
that's always
oh,
that's kind of like the conversation piece around any team, right? You don't want to peak early in the season. You want to kind of warm up to your success. And if either of these teams can continue to do that, then I think they'll be in for a good time.
Absolutely. And it is only week 2 so far, okay? Plenty of time to, work out some of the kinks or find some new tricks up your sleeve here and there. But we'll have to see how they continue to evolve and develop through as we continue through the season. LaFon, that was our last map of our session here for our cast. We are about to kick it over to Chef Billy and Bull Skunk, two fabulous casters that you will all be in very good hands with. Thank you so much to everyone, of course, behind the scenes for all of your help. And thank you guys for bearing with us through some of our technical difficulties today. LaFon, you are, of course, awesome to cast with once again. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Now, shout out to everyone who's kind of put the show on. Excellent partner here alongside me in crime, as they say, to bring this show to you on the air. And of course, thank you to everyone watching. Please stick around for the next couple of games. They'll be spectacular. You'll have a ton of fun. You don't want to go anywhere. And when we're back, the rest, Chef Billy and Bull Skunk will take it away.